everyone, and welcome back to a brand new vlog. Now I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's nearly June. Like, I cannot believe where the time has gone. It's nearly halfway through the year and the time just vanished. I don't know where it went to. It's gone. And it's the end of May already. But I know I've been busy with work and things like that, so time has just flown. But yeah, I still can't believe it's nearly June. It's absolutely crazy. But the garden is starting to come to life now, and it's looking so green and so lush. And I love this time of year. It's such a magical time of year because obviously, you know, you've been working hard, getting the allotment ready, sowing the seeds, and now all your hard work is starting to pay off. And yeah, like I said, we've been busy with work, so sometimes we're away at the garden shows for say 4, 5, 6 days. And I know that's not a long time really, but I really miss my allotment when we're away. Like, I love it so much. So for instance, now we've been away for about 5 days. I mean, this is the first time I've been at my allotment since then. But just walking through the gate and up the path and seeing the plot come into view is just one of my favourite views. Like, I absolutely love it. I can't explain how much it makes me happy. Obviously you guys know that because you probably love your allotments and your gardens as much as I do. So I'm speaking to like-minded people. But yeah, it just makes me so happy inside. And of course, I'm pleased to say that the alliums held on and they didn't bloom without me. I was really scared that they were going to flower without me because they've been threatening to do it now for the past 2 weeks. They've been slowly opening up, ever so slowly turning purple. And then just before we left to go to the Kent Garden Show, I thought, they're going to flower and I'm not going to be here and I'm going to miss it. And I would have been so devastated. But they held on and they are just about to pop into life. So I'm really pleased with that. The variety of those alliums is called Giganteum, and I planted them out in November, I think it was last year. I bought them from Pheasant Acre Plants. They also sell online. But yeah, it's my first time growing giant alliums, and I'm so in love with them. Like, I just want loads more next year. So yeah, I'm really happy they didn't bloom. But the flower border is looking really good now, and I've got lots more to plant out in there today. And that's what I'm going to focus on this evening. I thought I'll film a vlog, I'll film a little bit of a tour as well of the allotment, and I'll plant out some more flowers. Because these have all been acclimatised now to the outside for the past 2 weeks, so they are ready to go in. But what I've got there's 2 varieties of zinnias, one called Cinderella Peach, which I really love the name of, and the other one is called Queen Red Lime. So they'll be going into the flower border. There's also 2 varieties of scabious, and one's called Black Knight, and the other one is my absolute favourite, and it's called Stern Kugel. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I'll put a picture up now. They just produce the most beautiful dried seed heads. I'm going to actually use them in a few displays. I think I put one in Christmas wreath and things like that last year. But they're just so unusual and so beautiful, so I'm going to be planting lots of them. There's also some nasturtiums to be planted into the Brassica Bed. There's also a Black Beauty courgette and a Munchkin pumpkin. Now the Munchkin pumpkins, there's only one that's going to be planted out tonight because the other 3, well, I actually sowed 6 altogether, but I'll be planting out 4. But the other 3 Munchkin pumpkins, they're not as good as this one. Like, this one's grown really well. I'll just grab it quick. So this one has grown really well, but the other ones are just their first set of leaves still, so I don't know what's going on because it's like the same compost and everything. But what I've done is I've repotted them now, and hopefully they'll grow a bit more. But what I thought I'd do is I'd plant this one out and give him a bit of a head start. And then the last thing I'm going to do tonight is plant out some Bilotti beans. Now there's been a little bit of a change with the Bilotti beans. They were originally going to be planted to climb up the sweet corn, but they are bigger than the sweet corn. They've grown so quickly, so quickly. So what I'm going to do is plant the Bilotti beans to grow up the archway. Now, I sowed some French climbing beans called Cobra, exactly the same time as I sowed the Bilotti beans. None of them germinated, and I don't know if it was because it was saved seed and there was something wrong there, but none of them germinated. Anyway, they were originally going to climb up the archway. But now what I'm going to do is go to the shop, buy some more French bean seeds, sow them straight away, and then they'll be planted to grow up the sweet corn, because hopefully by then the sweet corn would have grown a bit more. It would create a bit more of a structure for the French beans to climb up. So all I'm basically doing is swapping them, if that all makes sense. I don't know if it does. It makes sense in my head anyway. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to grow the Bilotti beans up the sweet corn because I use them as dried beans, so I don't need to keep picking them. And obviously when you grow beans up sweet corn, it is very hard to keep picking the beans because they sort of just blend in and you forget about them a bit more. So that was the plan, but now I'm going to have to swap it over, which it's not too much of a problem. Just have to deal with it. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. But there were a couple of other things that I wanted to share with you all. And one of them is, well, one of my new favourite things. For the few of you that follow me on my more private account on Instagram called Lambs and Lavender, you might have noticed that my boyfriend gave me the best ever birthday present. And that was 2 Herdwick sheep. And oh my gosh, it was the best surprise ever. The best surprise. I wasn't expecting it at all. So yeah, I'm the proud owner of 2 Herdwick sheep. And they're both ewes. So the plan is to, next year, to take them back to the breeder and to get them into lambing, basically get them with a ram Herdwick and get some nice lambs hopefully out of them. I'm not sure what to do with them yet, if I'm going to show them or do something with their wool or something like that. But yeah, I absolutely love Herdwicks, and if some of you die-hard Beatrix Potter fans out there will know that she also kept Herdwick sheep on her farm in the Lake District. And I bought this Herdwick book all about the history of Herdwick sheep. And I also bought a Haynes sheep manual, sorry. And oh my god, it's the best thing ever. Like, I've learned so much about, how to look after sheep with their feet and the lambing, and everything is covered there. And for someone who doesn't know much about farming but really wants to, it's a really good book. But that's not my book recommendation this episode. What I did want to show you, and this whole build up was for my new planter, which is a Herdwick sheep. Oh my god, I'm just so in love with it. Like, I just want to carry it everywhere with me. This was purchased from a website called Herdy, and they sell everything Herdwick sheep related, and they have their own designs and things like that. But when I saw that they had a planter, I just had to have it. Like, I'm the proud owner of Herdwick sheep and I love gardening, so I've sort of combined the two. And because obviously my sheep are on my boyfriend's farm in Wales, I miss them so much, so I thought I'd have my own little Herdwick sitting at home on the windowsill. And what I've done is I've planted some lamb's lettuce into it. Like, I didn't even know lamb's lettuce existed, but I just had to plant it in there. So yeah, my new planter, which I just absolutely love. Absolutely love it. And obviously I'm going to use the lamb's lettuce. It's cut and come again, so I'll use that in my sandwiches and things, but I just thought the name was quite appropriate. Another thing which I've also treated myself to in the past week was some hand lotion and some hand care. My hands are getting so rough, and I feel like I come on here and tell you all about my problems, like my cold sores, but I do just want to say quickly thank you for all your recommendations and all your ideas about dealing with cold sores. They've been really helpful, and I am looking into them when I find a bit of spare time. But yeah, my hands are so rough, and because I'm a very hands-on person and I use my hands, you know, obviously in gardening and with work, you know, we're always cleaning things or, you know, unpacking and packing the van and, you know, just dealing with rusty metal and things like that. Oh, I've noticed that they've got so rough, and I thought I really need to start looking after my hands because they're very vital. And I follow this lady on Instagram. She's called Little Maudod, and she's like a representative, I don't know if that's the right word, for Neil's Yard Remedies. And they were having this 20% off offer, so I treated myself to some Neil's Yard Remedy hand care. And the first one is a nourishing Melissa hand polish, and it smooths and nourishes dull or dry hands, and it exfoliates them. So this is going to be like a weekly treat for my hands, like a little weekly spa day just for my hands. But yeah, it's gently exfoliating argan and rosehip seed powders combined with cooling aloe vera and rejuvenating oils of lemon, frankincense and melissa to soothe and revitalize the hands. So yeah, I'm going to use this once a week just to exfoliate my hands. I'm going to try and use a hand lotion which I've got at home every day, and I also bought this Be Lovely hand wash. It had really good reviews, and because obviously when you come home from the garden your hands are completely covered in mud and when we finished work we've usually got rust on our hands, so I thought I'll buy some decent hand wash which will look after my hands as well. And this has moisturising honey and uplifting orange essential oil for beautiful scented hands. I've used it a couple times now and the smell is just delicious. But yeah, I'm going to be cleaning my hands with this beautiful stuff. I'll be exfoliating my hands with this and just using some hand lotion as well. So hopefully my hands will be nice and soft soon. But yeah, I really love Neil's Yard Remedies. I've bought quite a few things from them. I actually buy quite a few of my essential oils from Neil's Yard Remedies as well because they're really good. So yes, that's the things I wanted to show you, but I also wanted to go on to a book review, and in this episode you're getting 2 for the price of 1, because the books that I want to show you, and I've had these for a while now. I think I got them for my birthday about 3 years ago, so I've probably mentioned them before, and sorry if I have already. But they are RHS books, and one is Latin for Gardeners and the other one is Botany for Gardeners. And like my garden geek, they just absolutely love these books. They're so beautiful inside, so traditional and old-fashioned, but absolutely stunning. Don't know if you can see properly now. I mean, majority of the time it all goes over my head, but it's something that I really want to look into further. And it's always nice to learn, you know, your plants' Latin names, proper names. So yeah, it's a really good book. And the Botany one as well is just full of beautiful pictures. And again, tells you all you need to know about cuttings, nutrient and water distribution, cells and cell division, structures, roots, buds, plant growth and development, species. Yeah, they're really good books. If you're looking into, you know, delving into gardening a little bit more, then these books are really, really good. And like I said, it's something that I've been wanting to look a little bit further into, and I have actually been thinking about enrolling into an RHS course. And again, it's one of those things I've been meaning to do I've been wanting to do for the past 5 years, ever since I first got my allotment. And I wish I could go back in time to when I left school, to tell myself to go and study horticulture, because I really wish that I got into gardening. I mean, I'm still quite young, but I wish that I got into it when I was younger, because I would have, you know, studied it. I would have left school, probably studied horticulture, you know, maybe got a job in the but yeah. But it's not too late, and I have been looking into studying RHS courses now, but for me it's finding where to do it, and there's 2 places that I can do it, but right now I'm not sure what's going to be happening next year. I could be in one place or I could be in another place, so until I figure that out and decide on what I'm going to be doing next year and where I'm going to be next year, then I think I'm definitely going to book myself into a RHS course, because it just fascinates me so much. And when you watch telly and you see Monty talking about all these plants and all their Latin names, and you know, all the structures and things and the different types of leaves, I think, oh God, I would love to know all that. I really would. And because I've been working so hard, and because the shows have been going quite well, I thought, do you know what? Life's too short. I think I'm definitely going to enroll on an RHS course part-time, so it can be like 1 day a week for a year, which is perfect, absolutely perfect. But like I said, I need to finalise what I'm actually going to be doing next year, where I'm going to be next year. So yeah, if I do enrol in it, and I really do want to, then these books are going to be really, really good. So there we go. I think I've probably talked myself out now, if that can ever be done. But what I do want to do is I want to go on a little bit of a tour of the allotment, because you haven't seen it in such a long time. Well, you've seen bits and pieces, but you haven't seen the whole shebang. So what I might do, and I will just warn some of you that get a little bit seasick, is I might take the camcorder off of the tripod and walk around the plot, and just show you guys what's happening on plot 15C, and show you what's growing and what's going to be planted where, and just give you a little bit of a tour. I'll probably show you the weedy patches as well, because there's quite a few of them. And there's one area that's really messy, but I will show you every single bit, because it's always good to show the bad bits as well as the good bits. So yes, I'm going to give you a little tour of the plot. Yeah, it's not raining, so let's have a little look around. Although I think what I might do is plant my flowers out first, because then you've actually got more things to look at than just bare patches of soil in the flower bed. So I'm going to plant my flowers out actually, and then I will give you all a tour of the plot. So I've just popped the kettle on to make me and my dad a cup of tea. So let's see if we can do the tour before the kettle boils. Right. So, pot 15C in all its end of May beauty. Now there's still some areas that need some work, and the main one is the area by the shed. As you can see, it's sort of turned into a bit of a dumping ground. Now what I am going to do, all these bags of rubbish, well, they're just bags of weeds actually, they just need taken to the tip. So hopefully one day this week all these bags will be taken to the tip. And that green bag as well, that's got some weeds in. That galvanised bin needs emptying. It's just got compost in it, it's just full of water as well right now. So that just needs emptying. I need to drill some holes in that and put it somewhere on the plot. There's still some nettle fertiliser in one of those little bins. But what I do need to do is get rid of that water butt. And this is where the manure bin is going to go. And I've got all the wood and the galvanised sheeting, so it's all ready to go. I just need to find the time to make it now. So of course, when the manure bin has been made, I try not to trip over, those two fertiliser bins will sit on top of the manure bin. This galvanised bin won't be here, the old water butt won't be here, all this bag of weeds will be gone. And then what I'm going to do is re-sow this area with grass seed right up until the rhubarb bed. And the rhubarb's doing really well. I'm not going to pick it this year because I moved it. So I think I'm just going to let it rest. And the giant sunflowers are doing really well. No slug damage, which is great. And of course the comfrey is doing beautifully and the bees just adore it. So what I'm going to do, I think in June, is probably pick some leaves and make my comfrey fertiliser. So the water tank is actually nearly empty. It's done it really well. It was full to the brim. And there's the guttering there waiting to be attached to the shed. And my little chamomile trough. It's looking good as well. So yeah, a bit of a work in progress this area, but it will get there. The tulip trough is a bit of a mess. I need to weed it, and obviously the squash will be planted out there soon. And there's the flower bed. And my beautiful alliums. So there's 6 altogether, including this tiny one down here. And then I've got some new lavender bushes planted, and 2 this side as well. So let's just walk round. There's some honesty planted there. And then there's going to be a dahlia planted in this gap here. There's some calendula under the apple tree, verbena, bonnieris, gladioli, rosemary, and 2 giant sunflowers. The apple tree is just absolutely laden with fruit. And what I need to do is thin these little apples out. But what I am going to do is I'm going to get a harvest from my apple tree this year. It's its 3rd year, so I'm going to thin the majority of these out. I think from like a cluster of about 8, I'll leave 1 apple. So I'll get a little harvest from my apple tree this year, which I'm so excited about. There's some dill there. There's going to be some feverfew in this gap here, and a dahlia. Then there's some cosmos, zinnia. My artichoke's growing really, really well. And I've noticed a little head down there. Some more giant sunflowers. There's another gladioli. Scabious, I've sown some poppies here. Then there's some dwarf sunflower called Sonia. Some Ami Magus. And I've just let my asparagus go to seed now. I got about 9 spears from my asparagus this year. I was so chuffed with it. There's some strawberry mint in the pot, some fennel, some more giant sunflowers around the back of the beehive, some more calendula, zinnias, scabious sternkugels, some more poppies and some cosmos. And that's the flower bed. So up the archway we've got the sweet peas, and there will be Bilotti beans as well as a few munchkin pumpkins. The potato bed, that's all international kidney there. There's 4 rows there and they've been earthed up about 3 times now, so I might try and earth them up one more time, and then that will be them. They'll be harvested soon. Cannot wait. You can't beat homegrown potatoes. So this is the legume / other bed, and I planted out pumpkin Tom Fox, 2 courgettes, Crown Prince pumpkin and my mini pop sweet corn. Then there's 2 rows of carrots, a row of Swiss chard which has actually gone to seed a bit, and then there's 2 wigwams here with my sugar snap peas on, and 1 Crown Prince pumpkin. So this is the Brassica bed. There's nothing in there yet apart from some directly sown swede in here, but obviously that's where all the brassicas are going to go, and the nasturtiums, but I need to build the frame for that. The radish tank has been a little bit of a disaster this year. The first row of China rose radish went to seed, but I have noticed, if you can see, the second row is ready to harvest now, but there's also a 3rd row and a 4th row in there, all successional. But yeah, so gutted about that first row. It was so hot it just went to seed. So the fruit cage, the raspberries desperately need weeding. That's on my next job list, but they have been weeded right up to there. So the 2 gooseberries, and there's 4 black currants. Now let's see if we can get in here. I'm just tying the door shut now just to stop the birds from getting in and taking my gooseberries. But as you can see, black currants are coming along nicely, and gooseberries very, very nearly ready for harvesting now. First gooseberry harvest in the 5 years that I've had my plot. Weedy raspberries, another gooseberry, and my transplanted strawberries, which some of them actually haven't made it. I think they were too stressed in their journey here, because I dug them up, left them for a day or 2, and then made this structure to put them in. So some of them haven't made it, but I'm hoping to get a little bit of a strawberry harvest from these vertical planters. They're by Bergen and Bull. They've been really good, but like I said, I think I just stressed the strawberries out way too much. So the last bit is the wildlife patch, which as you can see is very, very wild. The roses are coming out on the Katie's rose, and the geums were beautiful this year. But this whole area needs a good weed because I've got a few flowers that need going in here. I don't know if you can see behind the crazy grapevine, the cercium, which I just love, the carry grass, and the irises in the pond put on such a beautiful display this year. But yeah, this area needs a good weed. I have some flowers to be planted out here, and I need to secure the grapevine back. But I'm actually quite liking the look of this wildlife area, because it is pretty wild, true to its name. But look at all the buds waiting to come out. Oh, it's so exciting. But yeah, that is the whole of plot 15C. Little bits of jobs to do, but it's slowly getting there. And I'm actually quite proud of myself and what I've done, because obviously it's just me that has this plot. So yeah, I am quite proud of myself and how far it's come. But I think the kettle is going to boil any minute. So I just want to say, before the kettle boils and overtakes the whole sound, I just want to say thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.